Good morning, my dear students of class 7, and I am glad to welcome you all to today's zoology class. What are we going to learn today? Today's topic is going to be about the last sense organ called the skin. In our previous classes, we have studied about the other sense organs. Now, what all we have studied? We have studied about the eyes, the nose, the tongue, and the ears, right? So, the one left behind is the skin. No? So, in today's class, we will be learning about the detailed structure and functions of the parts of the skin, and I will teach you how to draw the structure of the skin. Okay? And for your homework, you will be drawing the structure of the skin and sending me through WhatsApp. Okay? So, let us get started. What is skin? Skin is a sense organ. One of the 5 sense organs is skin, and it is considered as the largest sense organ. Why the largest? Because throughout your body you have skin. No? In the case of nose you have only one, and eyes or ears you have only a pair of eyes and ears, but skin, it covers the entire portion of the body. So, it is considered as the largest sense organ, and it is the protective barrier. How it protects? What it protects? It protects your body from the outside environments, whether let it be the cold conditions or hot conditions, or it can be some sharp object damaging your skin, or in the below layers of the skin, all is prevented by this sense organ, that is the skin. No, so it is a protective barrier from the external environment as well as from other objects. It protects your body. And the skin has sensory receptors. I have told in the previous class itself, every sense organ will have receptors. Say for example, your nose will have olfactory receptors which can sense the smell. Your eyes will have phototrophic receptors which can sense the light. No? Similarly, here you have sensory receptors which can sense the changes in the environment, whether the environment is hot or cold, or if there is a pressure outside, if somebody is pushing you, you can feel the pressure through your skin only, right? So, if there are going to be changes in the external environment, then that is indicated by the receptors of your skin. The receptors of your skin will send signals to the brain and tell what happens outside, and then you will respond. How you respond? Through the effectors you respond, right? The effectors are the muscles which make you move about. So, what have we studied in this slide? We have studied that skin is a sense organ, and it is the largest sense organ. It acts as a protective barrier from the external environment and other things, and it has sensory receptors to sense the changes that happens in the environment and act accordingly. Clear? So, there are 2 layers in the skin. There are many 3 layers actually. The 2 main layers of the skin are the outer epidermis and the inner dermis. What are the 2 layers? The outer epidermis and the inner dermis layer. So, these are the 2 layers present in the skin. Then, I told you, there are receptors in the skin. Where will be the receptors? See, if this is the structure of the skin, the detailed structure of the skin we will be learning in the next slide. So, if this is the skin, can you see a brown color portion here like circles? So, these are the receptors. As I told you, every sense organ will have receptors, right? So, similarly, in skin also you have receptors which is colored brown in color here. And to the receptors, what is attached? Sensory neurons are attached. What is this? This is the structure of sensory neuron. Now, do you remember the structure of the neuron in the nervous system we have studied? What all a neuron will have? Any neuron will have a cell body and then axons and sometimes there are dendrites, no? So here the dendrites are not given, just the cell body is. How the dendrites occur? Do you remember the structure of the dendrites? How it will appear? Like this, right? So usually a neuron has dendrites like this, and this one, the middle portion, is called the cell body. Here the dendrites are not represented. So this is the cell body, and this long tail-like structure is called as axon, right? And the axon is covered by myelin sheath. So here this is the axon, the blue color tail-like structure is the axon, and it will end in, where does it end? It ends in nerve endings, like this it ends, and it is called as nerve ending. So receptors are attached to a neuron. So which neurons are connected to the receptors? Sensory neurons are connected to the receptors. Where it will go in the study of a reflex arc, you know, sensory neurons are always connected to mixed or intermediate neurons. No, here you will have intermediate neurons. What are intermediate neurons? You have the neurons or the nerves which are present in the CNS. What CNS includes? CNS includes two parts. One is the brain and the next one is the spinal cord, right? Brain or spinal cord. So now you have receptors in the skin, and a sensory neuron is connected to the receptor, and this neuron will end up in the brain. Okay. So whenever there is a change in the environment, say for example, there is heat outside your body, or cold climate, or if somebody touches you, or if there is a pain, if somebody is going to, or if there is a sharp pin pricking you, or if some pressure is exerted outside the environment surrounding your skin, all these changes in the environment are sensed by these receptors, and this change is carried, the message is carried by the sensory neuron, and where it will take, it will directly take to the brain. Now the brain will instruct the effector. Effector is the muscle. It will instruct the muscles of your body to respond to these changes. Okay, this is the process happening and by the receptors. So every receptor is connected to sensory neuron. Not only in the case of skin, for every sense organ, every time the receptors are connected to sensory organ, and the sensory organ is connected to brain. This is the same in all the sense organs. So what we have studied in this slide, your skin have receptors, and the receptors are directly connected to the sensory neurons, and sensory neurons are connected to the brain. So whenever there is a change in the environment, like if there is a pain, or if something sharp pricks you, or if there is a hot climate or cold climate, or if somebody touches you or exerts pressure on you, that can be sensed by the receptors, and that message is carried by the sensory neuron to the brain, and the brain instructs your body to respond. Mainly the effectors will respond. So this is about the receptors. Clear? Next we learn about the detailed structure of skin. So this is the detailed structure of skin. I'll teach you how to draw the structure. So what are the two layers present in the skin? You have two main layers, right? What are the two layers? Epidermis. Which is the epidermis? This purple color which is shown, no? This is the epidermis, and this pale yellow or cream color is the dermal layer, and we have one more layer, this dark yellow color. It is the subcutaneous layer. You need not mind about subcutaneous layer, just you should know to label epidermis and dermis. Shall we draw? I will teach you how to draw. Okay. So first you can draw a rectangle. And extend it like this. Okay. Then you need to differentiate these two layers, that is the epidermis layer and the dermis layer. So we will choose some other color. We will select blue color and draw the epidermis layer. So just make some curves like this. Okay. And in some places, why I have not drawn here, there is something here. No, what is this? This is the hair. Okay. This is the hair. It is actually called as hair shaft. What is it called? It is called as hair shaft. So next we can draw the hair shaft like this. Like this you can draw the hair shaft. Okay. So surrounding the hair shaft also this layer would continue, the epidermis layer continues, right. So you can also mark with blue color again. So make the epidermis layer surrounding the hair shaft also. Then what else can you see? Can you see two blood vessels here? One is blue in color and the other one is red in color. Why the blood vessels are in two colors? Why not in one color? So the oxygenated blood in your body, you have two kinds of blood, no, oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood, which is rich in oxygen, is always represented by red color. That's why you have some capillaries. See, surrounding the hair shaft and other parts of the skin, you can find capillaries. So let's draw the capillaries. So especially surrounding the hair shaft you have capillaries and the other parts of the skin also have capillaries. So you can draw some capillaries connected to the skin and the hair shaft. Then you have to draw the deoxygenated blood in blue color. Okay. So make some more blood capillaries in blue color also. So what all you have labeled now? First the epidermal layer and then blood capillaries and also hair shaft we have labeled. What is the dermal layer? See, apart from this, this region, no, this is all dermal layer. Blood capillaries are all present in which layer? In the dermal layer. Epidermis does not have blood capillaries. Okay, that you have to keep in mind. And the hair shaft also starts from which layer? From the dermal layer only. See, below the dermal layer you have one more layer. What is that called? Subcutaneous layer. No, let's mark that with the green color. So you have subcutaneous layer below. Okay. And there is something called basement membrane. Actually this portion, no, it is all epidermal layer, but this partition, this blue line, no, which separates the epidermal and dermal layer is called by the term basement membrane. It is called as basement membrane. And also you have some glands in the subcutaneous layer. Okay, you have studied about endocrine and exocrine glands, no. So you have certain glands in the subcutaneous layer and it is called as like it starts in subcutaneous layer as well as it continues in the dermal layer or in the dermis. Okay, what is that called? It is called as sweat glands. That also you have to represent. You can see here, no, sweat glands. So let's change the color to yellow. And how you can differentiate between blood capillaries and sweat glands? You can usually sweat glands are represented as coiled structure like this, and it will be connected to the outermost layer, that is the epidermal layer. Okay. So if you have a highly coiled structure like this, and here also you can find. So this highly coiled structure is nothing but it is the sweat gland. Okay. So these are the parts of the skin. You will draw the structure of the skin for today's homework, label it and send it to me. Okay. Today only you have to complete. If I get the picture tomorrow, I will not consider it as your homework. Okay. Then we learn some of the properties of the skin. So the epidermis, I told you there are two layers, epidermis and the dermis layer. The epidermis is the outermost layer. Why it is called the outermost layer? See, this is the external environment, and this layer, the outermost layer or the layer which is close to the external environment is the epidermis. No, that's why it is mentioned as outermost layer, and it is tough. Tough means it is hard in nature when compared to the inner layer, that is the dermal layer. Your outer surface of the skin is harder, no, when compared to the inner surface. So why it is hard? It is made up of dead cells. It is a dead layer because most of the cells are dead, and it will be removed automatically. And whenever it is removed, it is replaced by fresh cells. This process happens by itself. Your body itself manages to wash out or wear away the old cells, and it will give new cells. Once the old cells are removed, it is replaced by the new cells. In which layer this happens? This happens only in the outermost layer. Which is the outermost layer? The epidermal layer, right? And also the outermost layer will have a pigment called as melanin. Melanin is a dark pigment or a black color pigment. If a person has more melanin, then he or she appears darker in color. So less people who are fair, no, they have less melanin. That's why their skin is pale in color. Okay, so the one which gives a pigmentation to human is the pigment called as melanin. This word you have to keep in mind. So melanin is the one which determines the skin color based on the concentration of melanin a person has. Based on that, the color of the person will vary. Okay, so what we have studied in this slide, the outermost layer is the epidermis, and it is a tough layer. It is a dead layer because it is made up of dead cells, and whenever the cells are dead, they wear away or they are removed, and it is replaced by fresh cells which are new cells. And also this layer has some pigmentation or coloration. It is because of a pigment called as melanin, and that decides the skin color of a person. Clear? Then the next layer below you have dermis layer or dermal layer. No, it is the inner layer, and this layer is a matrix of connective tissue. You have many types of tissues in your body. No, the tissue which is present in the skin is called as connective tissue. What is the name of the tissue? Connective tissue. Okay. And what all you have in this layer? Hair follicles is present in dermis layer. It starts from the dermis layer. No? Also sweat glands are present in this layer, and also sebaceous gland is present. Sebaceous gland is something which has oil, which secretes oil. Sweat glands secrete sweat. No, similarly sebaceous glands secrete oil. That's why your face is oily. After, like, if you don't wash your face, no, after some time you can see some oil secretion. No, from where it comes? It is from this sebaceous gland only. And then, as I explained you while drawing the picture, we also have sweat glands and blood vessels in this dermis layer. Sweat glands secrete sweat, and blood vessels are the one which provide blood supply to the skin. Okay. So this is about the dermis. And some more facts about dermis. The dermis layer is the one which have receptors. I told, no, the nerves will have endings, and in the endings there will be a bundle like structure, that is the receptor. And receptor, as I told you, it is the one which will sense the external stimuli. It gives information of the things which come in contact, whichever factor comes in contact with the skin. Let it be the heat or cold or the pain or the pressure. So whatever comes in contact with the skin, that is all sensed by the receptor, and as I told you, the receptor will take it to the spinal cord or the brain, and then you will respond accordingly. It sends message to the brain, and the feeling is registered. Whatever either the hot condition or cold condition or the pain or the pressure, the feeling is registered in the brain. Then according to your decision, you will decide how to respond to that feeling. Okay. So this is about the dermis layer. So for today's homework, what you are going to do is, in page number 106, you read the portion on the explanation part of skin, and then also draw the structure of the skin and send me. Okay, it is not that only 3 or 4 children, every student should draw and send me. Okay, I will allot marks for that. I will include certain marks for the final exam from your assignments. Okay, based on your assignments I will allot some marks. So the people who has sent me the drawing of what was previous homework, nose, right, the structure of the internal structure of the nose, these children have sent me. Angelin, Arobin, Darshini, Madhusha and Darren, very good for these children. Others should also send today's homework. Clear? So that is all for today's class. Until I meet you in your biology class for the next time, you all take care and bye bye.